Hi everyone, this is Randall with Car Hill Honeybees, and in today's video I want to talk about the video I just done where I added the queen excluders and put some extra supers and foundations on. This, by the way, is my strongest yard here, and the way I done it this year turned into a tremendous amount of work, and I just kind of want to touch on that. The reason it was a tremendous amount of work, like when I come in here, there's 7 mediums already on here. So I had to unstack all this, shake them down frame by frame, and then restack them up. And I wound up adding 2 supers of foundations here because I'm out of drawn combs. And the way I did that was I put 2 in each super and 2 foundations, and I staggered them on the way up. And then in the top, there's like 3 frames of honey that are up there, and then the rest of it is foundation. And I just put the 2 honeys on each end and then 1 in the middle, and put the foundation there. Be that was that much work, and I want to explain why I'm trying these different times. Last year I've done the queen excluder earlier, like the last week in March, first week in April, and that worked out pretty good, except for I was coming across and damaging queen supersedure cells, which at the time I was not sure if they was trying to swarm or supersede. In the time that I've done the Walt Wright checkerboarding technique, I've run into this before when I used to run the pollen box underneath, and I would come back and rotate that at the end of March, early April. A lot of times I would damage supersedure cells. The colony's not trying to swarm, they're just trying to replace their queens, because this technique is very demanding on the queens because there's such a big amount of brood area. This pretty much finds the performance limit of the queen, and I find that these colonies will typically supersede every year between the swarm cutoff and the main honey flow, which they're very rare around here, but in this area, or a little bit north of here, that would be when the black locust is blooming, and that coincides with about April the 5th through April the 28th. So during that time frame, most of these colonies will supersede. Some of them will do it a little bit later. So I'm trying to figure out, when adding these excluders, when to do it and not interrupt that process. I don't want to get too early because I can trigger swarms, and by waiting this late this time, it created a lot more work for me. I'm going to have to rethink that strategy and maybe do it a little different. Next year I may look at leaving 2 mediums underneath and then coming back, moving the excluder down towards the end of the season as a harvest. I may do that, or I may look at just going ahead and doing it. There should be enough room, you would think, for the queen to go ahead and not get plugged out down there, but I feel it's either way. I think it's pretty important for the honey production part of it to not have the colonies to swarm. So I'll just have to, I've got a whole year to think about that and come up with a different strategy, but this is just way too much intense work to do that this way this time. The other thing I want to talk about is, and I've had a couple of questions and comments about it, but I come to the 3rd medium above the deep, and then I've intentionally slid the super back where the bees can get up here, they can access it or whatever. And the concern is the rain and the water getting in there, and I'm sure it does get in there. And I've done this technique for several years, probably about 8 or 10 years. I've never had an issue with it. So right there you can see there's probably 30 or so bees across there, and they're not using this as an entrance in any way, but they're feigning there. So for whatever reason, they're pulling an air current there, and I imagine it's a benefit to them in drying the honey. And this will only be here about 6 weeks. Once I harvest honey, that will disappear, and I'll see them even doing this during the nighttime hours. So I feel like, or it is my belief, that this benefits them in drying honey, and that's the reason I do this. And the rain don't seem to affect the honey or the bees in any kind of a negative way. I've watched closely for that the first year or 2 I've done it. They don't try to propolize that up or nothing, so it works really good for me. And I got this idea out of Walter T. Kelly's book on how to keep bees and sell honey. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it. I may have to review, but I'm pretty sure I saw it in that book several years ago, and decided I'd give it a try. And I wanted to try it again this year, just to see what would happen. Last year I did not do it because I was a little bit concerned about, if the colony superseded after I put that on there, the virgin queen might accidentally come into this upper entrance. I don't know if that would happen or not. But last year, when I did not have this upper entrance, I trapped a lot of drones up here in that brood. So whenever I'd come around and take the top off, there would be like 200 drones up there trying to get out, and there was probably 100 or more dead on a queen excluder. And that's the other reason I want to do this. This will give them a way out, and because I want these drones to be able to get out and mate with some of my potential virgins that I have. So I don't want to trap them in here. I think that the colony will do better for them drones to be able to get in and out and do their natural thing. So basically, I just kind of wanted to share these thoughts with you. But this was really intense to do it this way this time, and I won't do it this late again here to basically the end of April, 1st of May. I kind of got caught off guard with the nectar flow, the tremendous nectar flow coming in, and these supers filled up rapidly, and it caused me a lot of work. So I'm going to rethink that for next year and take a different approach. But I'm still going to use the queen extruders. I just got to kind of play with and experiment with that timing of getting it on there a little better and trying to minimize the impact on the supersedure queens that are taking place at that time. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today. I hope this experience was some benefit for you. Never stop learning. We'll catch you on the next one.